Hey y'all, today is April 8th. It's in the evening time. It's 8:56 Mountain Time right now. And I'm coming to y'all with a word that God will not get off of my mind and off my heart. So this is going to be about blind obedience. This is not going to have anything to do with that series, but it's probably something that can still apply if God is talking to you about relationships and stuff. And so in the message about blind obedience, as people, we look for instruction. We look for direction. God says do X. We're looking for Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We're looking for the whole blueprint of how things are supposed to go. And a lot of time, God is just waiting for us to make that first step. And when you make that first step, God will then reveal step 2 to you, step 2 through 3, step 2 through 6. God will tell you stuff, but you have to make that first step. And as people, we struggle with that blind obedience. We don't mind obeying if we know what the other side is going to come out to. If we know what the outcome is, we don't mind obeying. We don't mind following the strategy, following the path. But when we don't know what the next move is and God calls for us to do something real, real, real crazy, we will barely make that first move. God circled this back around today, but last week or something like this, this pastor, this proclaimed pastor, I don't even know, but he was on Facebook and he posted something about how, people be quick to quit their jobs and stuff like that. But when God wants you to quit your job, God will have you set up. God will not have you to quit your job with no savings. And God will not have you to quit your job with no place to stay. And God will not have you do this and that. And I rarely, rarely do I ever comment on something that's posted on social media. Because I ain't got time to be arguing with nobody else about their opinion. I just don't. You believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. It's not even a right or wrong thing because you believe what you believe. But all I could say, it had to be the Holy Spirit that had me to speak up because I don't comment on stuff. I don't comment on public stuff. Barely comment on stuff with my cousins and my sisters and my mom and stuff. I don't comment on people's stuff. I'll love it, go on about my day. I'll like it and go on about my day. But I do not comment on stuff because I don't be wanting that conversation. But I commented on this and I said, or sometimes God will tell you to quit and don't have nothing lined up. Because as people, it's us that want all the following steps. And we're waiting for God to tell us what it is that he wants to do. But God just wants us to make the first move. He just wants you to do the very thing that he told you to do. He ain't asked you no extra stuff. He ain't asked you to do, well, should I do this and do this too? He said quit. He said move. He said marry. He said divorce. He said buy. He said sell. Like, God just gave you an instruction. He didn't ask you to do nothing extra. He didn't ask you to go prepare for it in this way and that way. He told you to do this. When I quit my job in 2020 or 2022, God actually told me that I could not do a 2-week notice. I wanted to do a 2-week notice so I could get a full paycheck. God told me I had to quit immediately. I had to quit immediately. And that just sucked to me so bad because I'm like, dang, I can't even get a full check. My mortgage is due. I'm already 2 months behind on my mortgage. And I quit. No savings, no credit card that I was able to use. You know what I mean? So, and did I ask God for instruction? Absolutely. Did I ask him what was going to happen next? Did I ask him, okay, well, what you want me to do now? Yes. But guess what? He did not tell me anything. He didn't tell me what he wanted me to do. I had to quit and I had to wait for those instructions to come. And in all honesty, because I was so stuck on getting another job, I didn't even truly hear what God wanted me to do, which was write a book. I didn't even hear that until the following year. I quit in October. I started my book in January. I got hired in May. Blind obedience, y'all. And it's so critical for your journey and for your growth and for wherever God is taking you, because a lot of time, if you don't follow what God is calling you to do, God will put you in a situation where you lose the things that you're trying to hold into. So what I think about this is, even me selling my house and moving to Colorado, what if I would have kept my house? What if I would have just kept my house and I didn't sell? I didn't have any income. So guess what was going to happen? I would have got foreclosed on. My stuff would have ended up on the sidewalk outside the house. I wouldn't have had no money to move that stuff into storage. I would have had to let that stuff go. But because I sold my house, I had money to move. I had money to live off of. Same thing when I quit. If I hadn't quit, God probably, it could have been arranged where I got fired. And then I would have had to sit longer from the lack of obedience. You guys know that I have been going through a health situation. And while I feel like I know what's going on, it's still very scary to me. I have a 7-year-old. Y'all know I don't play about him. God know I don't play about him. I have a 7-year-old that I am crazy about. And I don't want nothing to happen to me where my son does not have his mother. And so a lot of time I find myself more stressed when I go to the doctors because they not giving me no answers. They not confirming nothing. They not denying nothing. They doing a lot of denying, but then they not following up. Well, let's order this imaging. Like, ain't nobody trying to order no imaging for me. And today, God told me to go to the doctor. I wasn't going to go. I started feeling bad yesterday. I wasn't going to go. But I asked God, do you want me to go? He told me this morning. He actually told me yesterday to go, but I was just like, I don't want to go because it was after I go to the doctors while my son is at school because I be in the ER for so long. I don't want to have him sitting in the ER like that. So I will wait and go. I could be sick as a dog and I will wait till he is in school to go. So I went to the ER today. Thought I was going to have answers. I even told God, like, even if they don't find nothing today, just, because I ain't even going to ask for that because if that's not what you want, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to set myself up for it. And I tried to prepare myself, but like, just help me to do this the right way. And I did not get any answers. And this is probably the worst that I felt mentally and emotionally. And I hope I don't cry. But this is probably the worst that I felt because this is the first time that I started to feel like I'm not receiving care because I'm Black. And I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm not one of those people who do that. I don't like to bring color into stuff. I know other people bring color into stuff, but the way that God wants me to move in my heart, I can't look at somebody's color and think that this is the reason why they are doing something or this is the reason why they're not doing something. But today was my 9th doctor visit. I've been to 5 different doctor's appointments and I've been to 4 different ERs. And today, a nurse called security on me simply because I told her that I would take the IV out of my arm myself. And I was asking her to bring the doctor back into the room. The doctor, I'm in there for abdominal pain. The doctor just asked me questions. Does not even put on no gloves and say, hey, let's do an abdominal exam. Where are you hurting at? Let me touch this. Oh, is this tender? Does this hurt? Doctor never even touched me, y'all. Matter of fact, I've been to the doctor for abdominal pain this whole time. The last time a doctor gave me an abdominal exam was in February. Nobody has touched me since then. And today, I didn't go off on her. I didn't yell at her. I simply was asked her to bring the doctor back in there. And I was like, she was like, well, let's take that out your arm first and then we'll bring the doctor in here. And I said, okay. So then I'm asking her more questions and I'm like, well, I'll take it out myself because now you coming in here with a tone. I don't want you ripping this stuff off of me. I would do it myself. So I'm trying to take it off and I'm asking more questions. And then she's like, either you could let me take it off now or I could call security. And I said, go ahead, call security. And she called security on me and she brought them in there. And I've been emotional about that off and on all day because that is so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. And it hurt me to even have to be like, what if it got something to do with my color now? Like, y'all don't know. I'm genuinely hurt about that. I know racism exists. I know stuff like this exists, but I never try to hold on to stuff like that. So I'm genuinely hurt. That lady called security on me because I told her I would take this out of my arm and because I was asking her for the doctor to come back in and to answer some questions. And so I've been so frustrated with God about it, because I'm like, why would you tell me to go back to the doctors? Like, you know that this is how they've been this whole time. Nobody want to answer questions. I asked for an MRI. They told me that my situation was not an emergency enough. Then when I asked for patient advocate, the doctor got mad and left the room. So I'm trying to advocate for myself in a better way. And I got disrespected the way that I got disrespected today. I didn't ask God what he wanted to show me today, because I ain't gonna hold you. I don't have the stomach for it. Like, I told him I will talk to him about this stuff tomorrow when I feel better about it. Like, I will talk about it tomorrow. I will ask him questions tomorrow. I simply asked him today, like, did I do right? Did I obey you by going to the doctor's office today? And I feel like he confirmed it in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, where it's like, we pray that God's message is spread rapidly and that it is honored in the same way that you honored it. So to me, I feel like God was saying I honored his instruction. And then I asked him why, or I don't know what I asked him, but he led me to Isaiah chapter 27, verses 2-6. And in there it's talking about, it says, pretty much, I don't know if it said like a garden. Something is about to be planted. A fruitful vineyard is about to sprout up. God is going to water it. God is going to take care of it. God is going to see weeds and burn them up. God is going to make sure that this stuff becomes the fruitful garden that it's supposed to be. And in that, I knew and I felt that he was telling me that he was protecting me. Now, I don't know how he protected me today. I don't know how he protected me today, but I know that throughout all of this, he is protecting me. And I just say all that to say, we don't know when God gives us instructions. We rarely ever know from the beginning why he gives us those instructions. Nevertheless, it's still important to follow them. It's still important to do what he's asking. I don't know why he had me to go to the doctor today. I don't know. Maybe it was for me to start, for me to, one, know how to advocate for myself, but also for me to start searching for an African-American doctor again, because initially I was searching for one and then I stopped searching for one. Today I searched for one and I got a doctor's appointment next Monday. So I don't know, maybe it was for that. Maybe it's something else that I don't even know yet. But the moral of this is blind obedience. Just follow what God is telling you to do. I've still watched that those little stories from the Secret Place thing, and they posted a video about obedience today. And what it was is, a guy was not working. He had been applying to jobs. He couldn't find a job. God gave him an instruction to go back home. He was like, why am I going back home? What would I do? What work will I do? And God told him, start the business that I told you to start. And the guy was like, well, what business? I don't know what you're talking about. So he moves. When he gets home, his dad thinks it's time for him to take over the family company. But he's like, God has me here to start a ministry. Now, this is still part 1, so I don't know what part 2 is going to be about. And then on another end, there's another girl who has been applying to jobs. She can't get nothing. She cries to God about it one night. God says, go apply to Crownfield Holdings. That's actually the company that the guy's father owns. It's Crownfield Holdings. And so the girl's like, God gives her 3 instructions. Go take your CV to Crownfield Holdings, accept any job that they give you, and it was something else. So she goes the next day. She goes and say, I want to submit for a job. And the lady asks, well, what job is it? And she says, anyone that's available. And the lady says, only a cleaner job is available. And she's like, a cleaner job? A cleaner? And so she ends up saying thank you and leaves. She does not apply for it, and she goes home and she's mad because why did you embarrass me like that? Why did you tell me I have a degree, I'm a graduate? Why would you tell me to apply for something like that? She pretty much felt like it was beneath her. A lot of us feel like the instructions that God gives us be beneath us. Like, we got to be honest about that. We don't do the stuff that God be asking us to do because we feel like it's beneath us. Heck, me going to the doctor yesterday, I mean, I could say that I felt like it was beneath me. Now, absolutely has a lot to do with me not wanting to have my son in the ER. But also, I feel like ain't no doctor going to give me the answers that I need. So why keep wasting my time going there? Right? So sometimes I do feel like the instructions that God gives is beneath me. But blind obedience is necessary for what God is calling for us to do, for what God is wanting to take place in your life. And I'm saying this, y'all, with a broken heart and with my own frustration. I've been to 9 different doctors since December. I am terrified that something's going to happen and I'm just going to fall dead somewhere and nobody's going to be able to get to my 7-year-old. It's one of the main reasons why I've been going to the doctors the way that I have, because if you can confirm something, then you can plan for it. But I don't want to run into the chance of an emergency surgery and nobody is here to get my child. You know what I mean? So, but I even got the sense today, like, just to say, just like, I don't know if this is true, but with the treatment that I experienced today, what if God is protecting me from people who, if they do find out what's wrong with me, they won't even know how to treat me. They won't even want to treat me the correct way. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like we don't know that there are some doctors who will let their patients die on a table. Let's not act like we don't know that there are some doctors and some medical professionals who do not take their oath serious, and they will let you die. They will let you bleed out. Especially when it comes to Black women. And it's so crazy that Black Maternal Health Week is next week, because the mortality rate in Black women is a lot of because providers don't listen to Black women. A Black woman could be in labor and say that she's in excruciating pain, and the doctor will say, oh no, you're fine, it doesn't hurt that bad, because they think that Black women have strength, which we do, but they think we have strength out of this world, that we have a low pain tolerance, and that, or a high pain tolerance, whichever one, that means it takes a lot more pain to hurt us. There are a lot of professionals who feel like that, and they will sit there and let you die because they did not believe when you said that you were in pain. So what if God was protecting me from the fact that every doctor that I've been to was a doctor who did not care for real about my health? And that's somebody who wants to work in the medical world. That junk is just crazy to me. It is disgusting that there are doctors out here that still exist that will let you die just because of the color of your skin. That's crazy to me. Not to go off on that tangent. But yeah, like, I have no clue what God is protecting me from. And as mad as I want to be at him today, I just got to thank him for protecting me. Throughout everything that I'm going through, I just have to thank him for protecting me and making sure that I'm here for my child. And I pray that at the end of this, I'm able to testify, because even though my ex is very present about stuff that's going on, and now my grandmother, like, can't nobody testify about this like me, because don't nobody know how I feel to have this type of stuff go on in my body, and don't nobody have no answers. Or it's not even don't nobody have no answers. They don't want to give me no answers. They don't want to do their research or their investigation that they need to do to make sure that I'm safe and I'm healthy and I'm okay. So as mad as I want to be at him, I still have to acknowledge the fact that I have no clue what he's protecting me from, but he protected me from something. So that means to get emotional, because I truly do not want to get up off of here and start crying. But yeah, blind obedience, y'all. We don't know if God is protecting us from something, if he's redirecting us to something, if he's trying to show us a new way, if he's trying to give us a new strategy. You have to be willing to take that blind obedience. Today, earlier, I was reading something in 1 Chronicles chapter 14. The Philistines were attacking David, and David asked God, should I go and attack them this way? Will you hand them over to me? And God says, yes, I will hand them over to you. And then they defeated them. And then I think sometime later, the Philistines came back, and David asked God again, should I attack them again? And God said, no, don't attack them straight on this time. Go around the back. God gave David a new strategy. He could have said attack them the same way, but God gave David a new strategy. And how do you think that would have went if David was just so focused on following the old instruction or following what he thought was right? Because he could have said, because that's blind obedience. God, you gave him to me last time. You told me to approach him like this last time. Why would you tell me to do something different? I won last time when you gave me that strategy. Why would I give a new strategy right now? Blind obedience. David didn't know if he was going to win or not. He had to just trust God. God said, if you do it this way, this is going to be the signal to let you know that I'm about to hand these people over to you. Blind obedience. David had to make a decision. He could have continued going through the old way, or he could have used blind obedience to follow what God is saying today. And so that's the message that God has for you guys. Blind obedience. Everything that God gives you doesn't come with a second set of instructions. Everything that God gives you doesn't come with a second set of instructions. God said move. He didn't say nothing extra. All you got to do is just do what you're supposed to do. A lot of time we be held up on asking all these questions. What is this in my purse? We be held up asking all these questions and stuff like that. God is saying, just do what I told you to do. Blind obedience. Don't worry about the extra stuff. Just do what I'm asking you to do. That's the word. I love you guys, and I will see y'all on my next word.